I've put my Creative Scrapbooker magazine Super Stock onto the Altenew Ultra Sticky Grid Mat, which is on my new Sizzix Stamp and Stencil Board. I'm just adding some close to my heart green ink. I'm using New England Ivy and scrubbing it. This is stencil number 1, and they are labeled on the top. So stencil number 2, I'm bringing in some red ink now. And I'll just scrub it into the holes. And basically you're just scrubbing it in with the brush until you like the depth that you're looking at. This is close to my heart cranberry ink. Now on to stencil number 3. I'm going to use close to my heart black ink. And it goes on very smoothly. I find a spot on the stencil that there is no holes, and I start it there so I can get the initial ink off onto the stencil. So now is when I realized I am getting black ink along the edge. So I brought in a piece of scrap paper to just hold under the edge, and away I go. Now I'm bringing in the New England Ivy green ink again to do the vertical hash marks. I'm not sure what you'd call them. And there we go. I think it looks great. I did learn I needed the piece of paper under the edge because it is pretty hard to keep the brush from going over the edge. There's not a lot of room there on some of the spots. So I've moved this super stock to the next section. I wanted to try and see if I could make a continuous tartan or plaid, however you want to call it. And this time I am aware to keep my scratch paper under the edge so I can try to prevent the overflow. I do have to be careful though, because as you can see, I put it a little too far under, so I was missing some of the stencil spots. I had to back that out. And I'm just going to repeat the same color process as before. I have to say I'm really impressed with this board. As you can see, I am really grinding that ink in there, and that stencil is not lifting, moving. I'm very impressed with this tool that holds the stencils in place. It's fantastic. So this is where my paper moved a little bit and I wasn't paying attention. And unfortunately, that's going to cause me some issues because as the stencil removal slid, it deposited a little bit of black ink onto my cardstock. First experience with this, I learned a bit. Like when you want to do a page, make sure you have something on the side to help cover it up. And line up your stencil with the darkest line first, because I'm going to have to hide that with some ribbon. But hey, you know what? For a first try with the stenciling, I think it turned out not too bad. And I was really happy with the Sizzix board. That was my first experience trying the new board with stencils. And I quite liked it. I can tell you this, and I held my paper in place no problem. As you could see, I was scrubbing like the dickens on there, and it didn't move at all. So I'm quite impressed and would not hesitate to recommend the this stencil board. So, and I like the Plaid stencil as well. I just know next time to line it up much better. So, but it was an experience. That's what it was supposed to be. I just wanted to slip back in and show you how beautifully those stencils cleaned up. Absolutely no problem. A little warm water and some Dawn dish soap, and it's like I never even used them. So just wanted to show you. They do clean up great. So I'm a big fan of the Sizzix stenciling tool and a big fan of the Sizzix stencil, the Plaid. Oh, it's actually called Tartan. So yeah, don't hesitate to pick any of these up. It was an amazing experience and I'm super happy with them.